With crystal clear waters, lush landscapes, and vibrant cultures, the Caribbean offers a slice of paradise for every type of traveler. In this video, we'll be counting down the 10 most beautiful Caribbean islands to visit. 10. Dutch Antilles. The archipelago of the Antilles is made up of predominantly mountainous islands that offer breathtaking views. Their arched pattern sees them extend from Florida to Venezuela and mark the dividing line between the Sea of Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean. Within the archipelago, they are divided into the Greater Antilles, which include Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, and Puerto Rico, and the Lesser Antilles, which in turn are divided into the Windward Islands and Leeward Islands, as well as the Virgin Islands. There are many islands that make up the archipelago, each with its own characteristics, but united by a sea and nature of unforgettable beauty. For this, often tourists arriving in the Antilles choose not to spend their holiday on a single island, but to see several during their stay. A Costa cruise to the Caribbean, for example, can allow you to discover even 7 islands in a single holiday. It's the ideal way to enjoy not only the beauties on land, but also the wonderful sea of the Antilles. 9. Barbados. In its 430 square kilometers, Barbados encompasses a tropical microcosm. The white sand of the beaches, its coral reef, and the possibility of practicing water sports such as snorkeling are just a few of the attractions it can offer, as well as green expanses, pastures, and sugarcane plantations. Also of great interest is a visit to the capital of Barbados, Bridgetown, full of monuments and colonial buildings and with a lively port. For nature lovers, the Andromeda Gardens with their tropical plants are a must, as well as the Farley Hill National Park. After endless open-air proposals, you can also choose a visit to the Harrison's Caves. Caves full of stalactites and stalagmites, lakes and waterfalls, a true natural treasure of Barbados that has been possible to visit by a practical tram. 8. Jamaica. Jamaica is undoubtedly one of the most famous islands in the Caribbean Sea. Montego Bay, with its beaches, coral reefs, and rainforests, as well as its colonial architecture and Negril, a real paradise for all fans of diving, are destinations that easily fit on the wish list of people of all ages. It is easy to imagine yourself in the sun, dancing to the notes of reggae music with a cocktail in hand, or to be enchanted by nature in the Dun River Falls. The beating heart of Jamaica is the city of Kingston, a modern city with a historic center where there is even a museum dedicated to Bob Marley, the world-famous Jamaican reggae singer-songwriter and guitarist. 7. Puerto Rico. American or non-American, Puerto Rico is an unincorporated state of the United States, and although its inhabitants aspire to declare themselves independent, they follow the directives of the president himself. Despite this peculiarity, this island is undoubtedly one of the pearls of the Caribbean. You can visit San Juan, the capital of Puerto Rico, to understand how far the uses and customs are from the frenetic American life, perhaps by stopping at one of its picturesque beach bars, or letting yourself be captivated by the old San Juan, the historic heart and soul of the island with its 2 ancient fortresses, El Morro and La Fortaleza. You can't leave Rico Port without going into the El Yunque National Forest and be surprised by La Mina Falls, a waterfall accessible from 3 different paths, located in the center of the forest, a wonder of nature in which you can also swim in its fresh and clear waters. 6. Antigua. Antigua always strikes you. With its 150 kilometers of coastline, it can count on 365 beaches that allow you to relax, but also to practice all nautical sports or engage in other activities. Among these, you can choose to go swimming with stingrays, with Costa, giving yourself an experience to remember and tell friends about. For surfers, the appointment is on the beach of Galley Bay, California, which in addition to having palm trees and lush vegetation, for lovers of views, there is Shirley Heights, a hill that still houses the ruins of an ancient fortress, but from which you can admire the whole bay and nearby islands. And at sunset, it offers a thrilling view. A walk around the capital, St. John's, as well as a visit to its cathedral, will offer you the opportunity to discover the colors and vibrancy of Antigua. 5. Barbuda. Barbuda is the perfect destination for those who seek peace and relaxation. As a small island, its white beaches are continuous in front of a reef that is often visible even to the naked eye. Gravenor Bay is one of the favorite beaches for snorkeling, but in the waters of Barbuda, you can often find yourself swimming amongst fish of all kinds. Of all the beaches, one that is very well known is the one from the archaeological site of Palmetto Point, which leads to Cedar Tree Point, which at dawn is tinged with pink. Dawn in the Caribbean always deserves an early awakening, also because it gives a light and colors never seen in other parts of the world. What if you are looking for something different? The Frigate Bird Sanctuary in Barbuda will thrill you. A veritable ornithological reserve in the heart of the Codrington Lagoon mangroves, where you will encounter over 170 species of birds. 4. Martinique. Martinique must be savored. Its colors and contrasts are fascinating and impress visitors from the outset. Modernity and tradition coexist on an island rich in lovely beaches, sugar plantations, and cocoa. Its capital, Fort de France, formerly Fort Royal before Napoleon Bonaparte changed its name, is the perfect example. In the heart of a modern square, you can come across the beautiful Schulcher Library by the architect Henry Peake. The building, which was originally built in Paris, was dismantled and rebuilt in Martinique, where other works by the same architect can be found, such as St. Louis Cathedral and the Covered Market. The latter is always worth a visit because it encompasses a universe of scents and colors. From bananas to vanilla, chocolate, countless spices, it is a constant temptation. But Martinique is unique, even for its culture, ranging from great authors to many danceable music genres such as the bel air, the calenda, the marzouka, or the zouk. 3. Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe at sunset becomes magical, an island that encompasses everything you might expect from the Caribbean. Beaches with white, golden, or black sand surrounded by unspoilt nature await the tourists with their fairy tale views. And how to resist the temptation to enter the crystal clear and turquoise waters that touch them? Impossible. A walk to Pointe-à-Pitre will prove equally inspiring, with a succession of typical houses flanked by more modern buildings. The spacious, slightly sloping Place de la Victoire, almost reminiscent of a modern arena, on which huge coconut palms peep out. In Guadeloupe, there are 1,000 colors, which harmonize at sunset, before giving way to the intense blue of the sea and night sky, which are etched forever on the heart. 2. Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic is one of the most famous islands of the Caribbean. Its beaches, like Punta Cana or Bayahib, have an irresistible charm. Described as real terrestrial paradises, these beaches confirm every description. From an intense blue of the water to the white sand, it is all extraordinary. But the beaches of the Dominican Republic are not just perfect for relaxing, perhaps sipping cocktails, they are also equipped for all water and diving sports. And it's not just the sea. The capital of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, is a famous city, one of the oldest of the Caribbean. Built in the 1500s, it still has the fortified original buildings and streets of the time, including the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Incarnation, the first to be built in colonial times. And if instead with a Costa Cruise you dock at La Romana, you'll feel like you're in a film, going up the Chillon River by boat. And maybe you could visit Altos de Chillon, a town where time seems to have stopped, for to make room for the enchantment of the panoramic view. The Dominican Republic will surprise you. 1. Bahamas. The Bahamas have 700 islands and islets. Unspoiled nature and endless deep, wider pink beaches are the setting for an ideal holiday. Password: relax. Because in the Bahamas, it really is possible to abandon the hectic lives and get in touch with nature. Grand Bahama welcomes visitors with its mangrove swamps and coral reef, and is also one of the few inhabited islands in the archipelago. It hosts Freeport and Lucaya, the two centers where the local population is concentrated, but offers ample space for parks and nature reserves. These include the Garden of the Groves, a tropical garden that is home not only to flowers and exotic plants, but also to many tropical animals and birds, amongst which there are pink flamingos, the national birds of the Bahamas. Which one of them would you love to visit? Please subscribe to The Travel World. Thank you for watching.